So as a result of the management audit that former Commissioner Pruitt undertook, um, that ended with 30 plus significant deficiencies in the district, on April 30th, I made a recommendation to the Kentucky Board of Education that JCPS become a state-managed district. JCPS challenged my recommendation, and we are scheduled for a hearing before the State Board of Education that would begin September 10th. I believe that hearing is scheduled for 10 or 12 days stretched between September and November, where the State Board would hear testimony and evidence from the Kentucky Department of Education and from JCPS, and then would ultimately render a decision in terms of whether the district becomes state managed. Beginning in mid-July, I initiated conversations with the district and proposed a settlement agreement, in large part to give us a path forward that would permit us to begin to immediately address the serious deficiencies in the district without having to engage in what is sure to be a protracted and very ugly legal battle. And so we have gone back and forth a couple times. The latest was JCPS sent us a counter proposal early this morning. We responded to that proposal this afternoon, and I believe JCPS has a meeting scheduled for this evening where they will consider our counter proposal.
Now, when you hear people talk about this, especially in the media and things lately, it makes it sound like this has never been done before, that the state has never taken over a school district. I mean, the way it's often talked about is that no one ever has done it in the history of the country, but this has been done before in Kentucky, correct?
It has, and in fact, you know, the disappointing part about the way it's been talked about in the media is it's been sensationalized in a way that does not, in fact, reflect what we have proposed. So first, to your point, the Kentucky Department of Education currently manages 2 districts in the state. Those are Breathitt County and Menifee County. The other thing, to my disappointment in terms of the way the media has largely covered this story, you know, JCPS takeover with the narrative that the state's going to come in and completely throw everybody out and dictate what's going to happen, when in fact the initial letter that I sent to the district on April 30th outlined the way that we intended to move forward with state management. I think people have not talked a whole lot about the details of what I actually proposed because it's not as sensational as the story that they've concocted. What I proposed in the April 30th letter was that the board would become advisory. It would not be displaced. I would not displace members, that the superintendent would remain in place, but that we would have ultimate authority under state management in terms of final authority over policy, decision making, those authorities that the board and the superintendent currently have.
So what comes next? You said that there's been action on this as recent as this afternoon and a planned meeting this evening, most likely. So what can we expect to see next from this?
You know, I'm not sure. I can tell you that I believe it would be in the best interest of the students in Jefferson County, of the teachers and staff, and of the community in Jefferson County if the district and the department can come to an agreement. If we begin this hearing that is scheduled to start on September 10th, it will not be pretty. I'm very hopeful that conversations will continue and that we can avoid what would begin in September.